Hey guys, what's going on? It's Rod here with the Hodler Fud Crypto, your new source for all things cryptocurrency. Guys, just want to jump on tonight and do a quick update on where I think things are heading after yesterday's bit of a pullback. Now, for those who aren't really familiar with cryptocurrency markets, these pullbacks or sudden drops are quite normal and actually quite healthy for the market. However, what we saw yesterday was a little bit of FUD that whales use to manipulate the market to push prices back down and again make a weak hand shake, and the rich got richer. So what happened? There was a cyber attack on a US pipeline, which is amazing to me, guys. They're now saying that there's some gas stations in the United States already within 24 hours are going to be running short on gasoline. So what's happening in the market today after we saw that huge fallback yesterday? Well, one of our favorite projects, Cardano, let's just jump on here and talk about it for a bit, because as we know, Cardano was starting to shape itself up for a huge run. Now, what I really like about Cardano is the fact that they're actually trying to empower people and not just governments or systems. So there's a lot more going on in the Cardano ecosystem than we're led to believe right now, as there's a lot of testing going on. We're looking for the Alonzo hard fork in July, start of August. So there's some really big things coming, and as you know, you got card starters and other things that are starting to come into the ecosystem, and card starters is going to be the launch pad. So you're going to see a DEX come along soon, and you know, obviously Cardano's got its own wallets with the Daedalus and I can't remember the other one right off the top of my head. But those are great little ventures that they've already got in play. And then what is coming to us soon will be those smart contracts, as well as the DEX and some other little cool features. But we're really starting to see these things starting to take shape. And what's really neat to see is I read an article today where you can see a big spike in Google Trends for people searching Cardano. Well, that's the kind of information that we need to start paying attention to, because we've got retail money coming in and guys and girls that are playing along with the meme coins right now. Dogecoin for one of them for sure, which has also had a very nice run back. It's back up to 50 cents right now. So guys, like these projects, they go through these downturns and it's very healthy. Many said that Doge, when it was down, was just going to accumulate there. It's pumped back up. Like I said, it's at 50 cents today. It's not quite where it needs to be right now, but it's going to work its way back up. But let's go back to this Cardano chart right now. And you can see the blue line we've got drawn through here is the trend line that we were currently on, leading up to that pullback. And as you can see, the pullback's the big long red candle wick, about 3/4 of the way over on the chart. But you can see we had two downward bear pennants, and we were able to actually break both of those and trend upwards. Now, when this first one broke, it ran up 13%. So if we go ahead and we look at what we're looking for price targets or predictions right now, as Cardano has now broken back up, and it's actually in the last 24 hours has gone up almost 20% just to get back to where it was. But we had a little bit of a cup and handle kind of form on the way up, and it came down as it was just breaking over our trend line, came back down to the trend line, and it's bounced back off of it. Now, where do we think it's going to go from there? I would say a very realistic expectation for Cardano would be to close this week out at $1.95 to $2. It's kind of on par with where we thought the predictions were at the start of this week, but we don't always see these corrections coming, guys. But like, this is an absolute huge mover right now. Cardano is absolutely setting itself up for some big things. And we're going to start seeing a lot of money pull into these things. Now, as things are going more mainstream with adoption, and we've got lots of positive news coming around certain projects, especially something like the Cardanos of the ecosystem, where people are looking to stick their money somewhere where they can actually make a lot of profit. And what I'm saying with that is yes, you're going to make a lot of money. You can 10x your money with Ethereum right now. You can hopefully 10x your money with a Polkadot, or there's several projects that are looking like they're starting to prime themselves up. If you're using the simple rule of thumbs, and the simple rule of thumb is that in the bull market after the last one, so in 2017, 2018, Cardano's all-time high during that bull run was $1.11. They say the general rule of thumb is if you can get up and hit that old all-time high, you can look to multiply that by 10. So that would put us in and around a $10 to an $11 Cardano in this bull run. I'm not sure that we're going to get there. A lot of people, I know Crypto Crow, he's saying in around that $7.75 to $8 range. BitBoy, he's saying around that $10 range. The rule of thumb's telling us close to that $10 to $11 range. And I really don't know that everybody's going to be wrong in that scenario, because I think we're going to hit all of those price targets. I really do feel that this thing has more room to the upside than we're giving it, especially if we're starting to look at some kind of a super cycle, or something like when we have some abnormal activity that we might be entering, where we might have a 10x or something for Ethereum for where we are today. So you got to really try to find a time in the market that you can jump into something like this. Now, the one thing to keep in mind on the chart is that if we do see another little pullback here, maybe creating some kind of double bottom before we get back up to that, or hit up to that $1.95 or $2 range, it might be a good scenario to buy in. If I had to make a prediction, if you saw another pullback maybe overnight tonight that brought us back closer to that $1.73, you may be looking at a good scenario to buy in, as long as we're able to pull back away from that resistance or the trend line, or the support, not the resistance. But we really got to see where we're at. Now, as we're watching the chart right now, we're really bouncing off that $1.79 resistance that we were seeing just at the market as we were just before it had that 30% pullback. So we really want to see something positive, where I'd like to actually see this thing run pretty much straight up to the $1.95. But we do have some room to fluctuate here, as long as we can stay above our trend line and use that as a resistance, as long as we can stay above our trend line and use that as support. Really late in the day, guys, here. I'm really sorry. Then we're still looking like a really positive end of this week, and we could potentially hit that $1.95 to $2. But these are just my thoughts and my opinions, guys. I am not a financial advisor, and this isn't construed as financial advice. However, it is intended to spark your interest, to go out and do a little bit of your own research to find out why so many people on the interwebs are in love with projects like Cardano. Now, you've got Cardano and Polkadot that are vying to go head to head for that. I guess we'd call it an alt chain. Both are really trying to do different things, where Polkadot's really ingested just onto its network and being able to branch out, as where Cardano's looking to be a third generation blockchain and have a lot bigger of an ecosystem build on it. Now, again, you're still going to see some of these startups have to go through an ERC20 launch on Ethereum for the Cardano network, but watch things transition over. Watched a couple videos today from my boy Crypto Crow, where he had an interview with the owner of Celsius Network, and they're already lining up to get to the Cardano network, and that'll be a transition to, not as well as Ethereum. So really, really bullish news coming all over the place. That interview was from a while ago, but it's just showing you the strength of this ecosystem and why so many people are in love with the Cardano ecosystem itself, because it is just developing, but we also do know that there's a perfectionist at the helm, and Charles does not want to rush things through, and he's shown that time and time again by delaying projects or upgrades or the hard forks. And while that is frustrating for the community, because we want to see these things come to fruition, we also got to understand that the slower that this is, and we're not looking at maybe creating just another mirrored version of Ethereum where we're going to have flaws. Like, why release the flaw if that's what Charles is trying to get away from? He saw the shortcomings of Ethereum, went into Cardano, and decided that with Cardano, he wants to build on what Ethereum couldn't do. So we've got to keep that in mind, that the perfectionist at the wheel is driving us ultimately to success. And we've got to trust in him to make sure that we get there. Now, the Cardano or IOHK partnership with Africa and Tanzania, you know, those are great steps, and those are huge, huge, huge momentum swings for the Cardano community. But also we got to keep in mind that there's a lot of people waiting for this thing to absolutely pop off. Now with the Africa deal, we're talking about 5 million people onboarding onto blockchain for things like identification and education records and, you know, financial institutions and these people, for the DeFi community to actually happen. We're banking the unbanked right now. That's what they're really trying to set up there. So there's some huge, huge, huge things coming, and this thing's really just starting to grow. So watch the seed as it gets a little bit more water every day and some more sunlight, as it's going to bake into an absolutely huge ecosystem. There's all kinds of development happening right now, getting ready to launch into a testnet form. But watch for this thing to absolutely take off here. I'm going to tell you right now our price is at $1.77. So we're down 2 cents from when we started this video. But guys, we all know that this stuff is not just linear straight up. It's going to plod back and forth, and these candles are quite exhilarating to watch at times and how quickly they can go. Guys, just stick with it. Be patient. Those who are patient will get rewarded. Do yourself a favor, start looking at staking options, especially if you're going to be long-term holding of stuff and you got in at a relatively low price point. But that's what I got for tonight, guys. Remember, protect yourself, don't wreck yourself. Hodler FUD, out.